Chapter 26. The helicopter wasn't even on the landing pad when Dr. McAllister leaped out. Lieutenant Henderson went to shout a warning to him, but it was too late. The doctor ran toward the complex. Lieutenant Henderson leveled the chopper, fighting the snowstorm, and touched down. He killed the engine and climbed out. He grabbed chains from underneath and tied the runners to the helipad. The storm's kicking now, Lieutenant Henderson thought, shielding his face from the stinging flakes. They were like tiny ice missiles. Wind gusts to 45 miles per hour. 5 more, and the good doctor would have waited for his emergency pickup. No situation is worth being splattered against the canyon wall. He finished locking the helicopter down. He hightailed it toward the soldiers' quarters. He wanted back into the poker game Dr. McAllister tore him from so he could take more of Lieutenant Colonel Ryan's money. He needed it. The chopper was going in for maintenance tomorrow once the storm let up enough to fly. The director and his assistant were the only ones scheduled for transport. If the repairs were complicated, I'm stuck in Denver on Christmas Eve, and McAllister is stuck here, unless he's ready to go when I get here with Tom Granger. A warning light keeps coming on. It's not a serious one, but it needs checking. The regular mechanics are on leave for the holidays, and we can't afford to be without the chopper. If the problem worsens, I'll have to ground her. If that happens up here, I'll have to repair the chopper outside instead of in a cozy, warm hangar. Of course, borrowing one to get us through the new year was too simple an answer, but Dr. Meyer-Brandis nixed that. Watch, I'll go through all of this for a faulty bulb. While Henderson mused about his immediate future, Dr. McAllister bypassed TCOS's decontamination placebo inside the access door. He rushed through the complex. He hit the Alpha Wing corridor, running at full tilt. His sneakers squeaked as he rounded the corner. He slowed near the pool. He peeked inside. The boys were swimming. There was no sense alerting them to anything amiss. He slipped past with stealth, even though every wolf boy was aware of his presence the moment he entered Alpha Wing. Where's Kelly and Adam? Dr. McAllister wondered. It was irrelevant. He stopped at an intercom near the end of the hall. He needed to know where Carolyn was, and TCOS was the quickest way to determine that. It kept track of everyone at all times. Just a quick inquiry, and she's in the surgical theater, Adam said. Dr. McAllister whirled around. Adam stood in the doorway to the greenhouse, his arms crossed, leaning against the jamb. McAllister's mouth worked, but no sound came out. He swallowed and managed, "Thanks," before running to the Gamma Wing access door. "Any time," Adam growled, sniffing. Fear scrolled across his mirrored corneas. He tore himself away from the doctor's scent. He hated that smell. It made him want to attack. He slipped into the shower room, donned his Speedos from his locker, and headed for the pool. Dr. McAllister burst into the surgical theater, where Dr. Meyer-Brandis and Dr. Wang were working on Kelly. They looked up at him as he comically skidded to a halt. "Quite an entrance, Doctor," Dr. Meyer-Brandis quipped, tying a stitch. "What do you do for an encore? Tap dance?" "Carolyn?" Dr. McAllister panted. He didn't have time for her sarcasm. "Yes, Rory? Are you running a sanctioned protocol with Oliver?" She smiled, amazed at his stupidity. "Of course not. I wouldn't do that without you." "Clamp," Dr. Wang said. She handed him one. Dr. McAllister exclaimed, "Well, someone is!" Dr. Meyer-Brandis and Dr. Wang froze. They stared at McAllister. His pale face and frightened demeanor weren't feigned. Dr. Meyer-Brandis dropped what she was doing. She ran out of the surgical theater, tossing her bloody gloves into the garbage. Dr. Wang continued the operation without her. Dr. McAllister followed her. She charged down the hallway into ops. She flipped on the lights and activated her workstation. A red screen came up. The display was the skeletal layout of a small house with the heat outline of a human body. It was Oliver. He was tracking someone using his infrared optical sensors. "Good Lord!" Dr. Meyer-Brandis cried. She spun around and glared at McAllister. "What's going on here, Rory?" "I don't know," he replied, his voice shaky. "It was sent to my home terminal by default." "Whoever did this is dead meat on a slab." She punched in her access code and leaned toward the microphone. "Wolfboy 1, acknowledge." The anatomically correct heat image on the screen belonged to a male. He was in the basement of the house, approaching the stairs to the first floor. "Wolfboy 1 is online," a voice replied. "Good evening, Dr. Meyer-Brandis." "What in God's name are you doing?" she screamed, grabbing the microphone with her fist. Wolfboy 1 replied, "It is, in your name, running a sanctioned protocol." It paused and then added, "Duh." Dr. McAllister laughed, his anxiety lending a hysterical edge. He said Oliver's sarcasm is affecting the onboard unit. Intriguing. Dr. Meyer-Brandis shot him a glare of razor blades. "On whose authority?" she snapped. "On your authority, Dr. Meyer-Brandis," Wolfboy 1 replied. "My? That's impossible!" Her rage boiled up her neck. Her face flushed. "Abort," she said. "Do you hear me? Abort this instant and get out of there." "Negative," Wolfboy 1 replied. "ACOM enabled. Sanction is imminent." "Excuse me?" Dr. Meyer-Brandis cried, hitting the keyboard again. She turned toward the satellite interface. "Wolfboy God!" "Carolyn?" Dr. McAllister whispered. "Wolfboy God is online," the satellite control system replied. "Good even. Abort sanctioned protocol, Wolfboy 1. "Working." "Thank God," Dr. Meyer-Brandis said, clutching her chest. "Get him out." Unable to comply, Wolfboy God continued. "ACOM enabled. Sanction is imminent." "Tracking," Wolfboy 1 said. "Target Kevin Rossetti. Sanction with extreme prejudice. Stealth hunt mode enabled." Dr. Meyer-Brandis turned to Dr. McAllister, her eyes filled with fear and fury. "Rory," she whispered, "what the hell is going on here?" Dr. McAllister moved to his station. "I don't know, Carolyn," he replied, gathering his wits, "but I'm going to find out." "We can't stop him, can we?" she asked, slowly sitting down. "He's running on ACOM." "I know," Dr. McAllister said, punching in his passcode. He tapped his finger nervously on the edge of his workstation. "I'm accessing the database. We'll know who did this in a second." "Could it be Tom?" she asked, nibbling on the tip of her pinky finger. "Could he?" "No," Dr. McAllister snapped. "No one has access to the Wolf Boys except through this room." "Or your house," Dr. Meyer-Brandis corrected. "Your wife or son could have." "Bypassed my codes? Never. Someone did." Dr. McAllister's jaw dropped open as the information appeared on his screen. "Carolyn, according to this, the order came from you." "What?" Dr. Meyer-Brandis leaped out of her chair. She adjusted her glasses. Her expression changed from surprise to outrage. "Replay the surveillance video for that." She jabbed her finger at the monitor. "Time frame." Dr. McAllister looked back at her workstation. "It's starting." "Oh, sweet Jesus."